Welcome everyone to another episode of Shri FC. I'm finally back and I'm so happy. I was trying to make a lot of content. I was planning previews for the Chelsea games in the Premier League and all that stuff. But sadly, something happened. We all know, and some things are more important than football. So football stopped, and that's why the content in the channel has been low. So I do hope you understand. And people watching, do hit the like button and subscribe button. So straight away starting with the first topic today, and then we'll move on to the director of football and all other news that's coming out of Chelsea. So first of all, I want to preview the match of us that will take place today against Red Bull Salzburg. So we'll be playing Red Bull Salzburg in a Champions League game, match day 2 of the group stage, where we will be playing Red Bull Salzburg, a team who have some very good players in the form of Okafor, Benjamin Sesko, a player Manchester United were heavily after, and all the other teams have also looked at him as a very talented player, and a team who got a draw against AC Milan in the first game week. So we have to respect them, and we have to understand how good of a team Red Bull Salzburg can really be. Along with that, Chelsea lost their first game of the Champions League group stage. So this game is a must-win so that the club does not slide more down and down and down. And it's important to win this game to strive ahead and strive to more perfection, because we have to finish first in a group stage. You don't want to risk playing Bayern Munich. You don't want to risk playing Paris Saint-Germain. You don't want to be playing Real Madrid in the round of 16. So to avoid all that, you have to win the group stage. And a group of AC Milan, Salzburg, Dinamo Zagreb, if you cannot even finish first in that, some big questions have to be raised for a team that has spent around 300 million this transfer window. So, starting off with Chelsea, and we lost in the first game week in the Champions League against Dinamo Zagreb 1-0, where Orsic scored a goal and Chelsea lost that game, and sadly, that was the last game of the Thomas Tuchel era at Chelsea. I won't go any more to that. I've already discussed a lot, and now it's new management, and it's time to move ahead. But sadly, that was the last game of Thomas, and I'll always love Thomas for what he did for Chelsea. And it was Dinamo Zagreb 1, Chelsea 0. They won their first game. Dinamo Zagreb were a team that already beat Tottenham 2 years back, Sevilla, West Ham, but we took them lightly, and also we did not play well, and we were deserved losers in that game. Now it puts more pressure on Chelsea to win the game today, or else we could really be on a threatening road towards the Europa League. So we need to be very careful, and we need to win this game, because we have to finish first in this group, and not qualifying from the Champions League group stage will be an embarrassment that will be unheard of. So our first game week, we lost to Dinamo Zagreb 1-0 away from home, while our opponents, Red Bull Salzburg, they got a 1-1 draw against AC Milan, where they played well, and they are a team who got a result when no one anticipated. Everybody would have been predicting Milan to win, Milan 1-0, Milan 2-1, Milan 3-1, but Red Bull Salzburg got a draw there, and people, this is not a team to joke about. They are a very, very good team. And namaskar, thank you so much, Anshuman Bhai, to join the chat. The way you support the channel, thank you so much, Anshuman Bhai. I'm very good, Anshuman Bhai, and Anshul Bhai, I'm so sorry. Anshul Bhai, I'm very well, and I hope you're also very well and very good, Anshul Bhai. And the usual results of Red Bull Salzburg have been 1-1 against AC Milan in the first game week, which puts them at 1 point, Milan at 1 point, Dinamo Zagreb at 3, and Chelsea 0. So these have been the result of both the sides playing today. Now, going on more important stuff, and now it's a time to talk about two important players of Red Bull Salzburg, two players who are going to cause us problems today, Okafor and Benjamin Sesko. Both of these players have been scoring goals this season, and both of them are very capable of troubling us today if Red Bull Salzburg are going to beat us at Stamford Bridge. We were not able to handle Orsic. Chelsea have been struggling to handle Michael Antonio, and handling these two players could be a bit more difficult task than we give credit for. And Okafor this season in 11 games has hit 6 goals, while Benjamin Sesko in 11 games has hit 4 goals. We all know that Manchester United were heavily linked to sign Benjamin Sesko. Chelsea also had a late interest in signing Benjamin Sesko, and along with that, we also have Okafor, who has 11 games and 6 goals. Excited for the first match for Potter today, that too at Stamford Bridge. Let's go. Absolutely, Anshul Bhai. Finally, football is back, and we all are excited. Yes, sir, I will be doing a post-match just after the match at around 2:25 or 2:30 around when the match finishes. So people do stay tuned in. I will be doing a post-match as well, and hope we beat Red Bull Salzburg. So Migank is in the chat. Thank you so much, sir, to join the chat. Hi, Migank. I hope you're well and good. And overall, talking about Red Bull Salzburg, they've got two very good players in Okafor and Benjamin Sesko, which we need to respect people. Two players who are very, very good, and two players who in this season combined have 22 games between them and 10 goals. So these are the players, people, we have to take seriously, and taking them lightly can be a very, very wrong decision on our part. Now, going on towards the, just cutting the banner here. Now going on to the Red Bull Salzburg injury news, and you can see the list. They have some massive injury concern, and I think they need to be very, very worried. If you see their injuries, Wobber is not available for this game. Solid is not available for this game. Platkowski is not available for the game. Brian Oko is not available for the game. And Chelsea really big up to Laksh as well. Thank you so much, sir, to join the chat, and we'll take this question. Sorry, and Chelsea really need to be hard on defense for this match. Surprisingly, Laksh brother, Chelsea this season have been defensively pathetic, absolutely awful this season. And I think defensively we are very, very bad this season, which we need to be very much concerned about. And Sesko is next Haaland, but next year he's going to Leipzig. Yeah, but I think Anshul bhai, comparing him to Haaland can be a bit too stretched, because Haaland is a one type of a player who is going to break record after record. But I think Benjamin Sesko can be the next very big thing in the footballing world as well. So if you see the injury news for them as well, I agree. I think Chelsea has been really bad. And I have to agree, even as a Chelsea fan, we have been really bad this season. So taking on this news, Wobber is not available for the game. Solid is not available for the game. Platkowski is not available for the game. Oko is not available for this game. Diambu is not available for this game. Daikite is not available for this game. Tinaji is not available for this game. Sucic is not available for this game. You have got Omorigi is not available for this game. And Koita is not available for this game. Red Bull Salzburg have massive injury concerns. And I think if we could not even beat them with so much injury concerns, we really need to be facing a big crisis, because we have to beat the Salzburg side, who are suffering a lot of crisis, where they don't even have one proper fit centre back to partner their another centre back. So that's a massive problem for Red Bull Salzburg. Now, going on to Chelsea injury news, and Chelsea, we know N'Golo Kante will remain out for this game. Most probably we can expect him to come back after international break, or most probably the mid of October. But before that, people, expecting N'Golo Kante to be back, I think is very premature. And N'Golo Kante is not coming back for a very, very long time. I think it will take at least a month for me to see him back. So that's the thing, I think, people. Along with that, Edward Mendy, people, will not be available for this game. So that's a bit of doubt as well. And along with that, we all know that the new management has been appointed. Graham Potter, the new Chelsea manager. So a lot of players have fresh chance with the new management in charge. So that's the thing, people, we have to look forward to as well, that there's a new management in the town. They're going to manage players in a different way. Graham Potter might like a different player. He might play a different style of football. Suddenly, Hakim Ziyech might play more games. Pulisic might play more games. You can even have likes of Cucurella playing more. And along with that, whole team is going to change. So I think it's very difficult to expect the lineup, what's going to be under the new management. Now, taking one more question here, and what do you expect up front, bro, or Aubameyang? I do think we'll see Aubameyang. I think for me, Anshul bhai, I do think that Chelsea is not going to ring in changes so early. Potter has just now been announced. It's just been 3 or 4 days for him being a Chelsea manager. And his first game after that, which we have 2 weeks break. So I do not see him making a lot of changes. So I do see Chelsea keeping mostly the same side, in my humble opinion. So now, going on towards the likely 11 that Chelsea might play, and making it just more clear for you all, this is going to be the likely 11 that Chelsea will play, in my humble opinion. I think Chelsea will line up with back 3-4-2-1. I think Graham Potter is not going to change much. He needs more time in the training ground. So I do not see him changing the formation suddenly. So I can see it being a 3-4-2-1 with Kepa Arrizabalaga playing as goalkeeper today. Koulibaly at the left, Silva in the middle, Fofana at the right. And then it's going to be Jorginho Kovacic in the middle for me, protecting the defense. And Ben Chilwell will play for me. Ben Chilwell, especially Chelsea have had a 1 week rest as well. So I do see Ben Chilwell playing this game. And he has been much better than Cucurella. So he has to play, while Reece James will go towards the right. And I think it's going to be Sterling, Havertz, Aubameyang up top. I think the way Havertz played against Dinamo Zagreb, Havertz was one of the bright spots for Chelsea in the game. So I do see Havertz saying, I do see Aubameyang playing his second game in a row. And I do see Sterling playing as well. While Mount, Pulisic and Hakim Ziyech might just come from the bench in the second half when you can make 5 substitutes. So this is going to be, in my humble opinion, the likely 11 that Chelsea will play in this game. Now, going on towards the likely 11 that we can expect from Red Bull Salzburg. And for me, Red Bull Salzburg, we go with Korn as a goalkeeper, Bernardo playing as a centre-back because they have a lot of injuries, Pavlovic along with him, and then it's going to be Dadic, it's going to be Ulmer. These are going to be the back four for Red Bull Salzburg. And then it's going to be Selvard, it's going to be Capello, it's going to be Kajaigaard. And then I think that's where the real threat comes in. Kamawi, and then it's going to be Okafor and Benjamin Sesko has a front two. That's where the threat is going to come. And how Silva, Fofana, Koulibaly handle Okafor and Benjamin Sesko is going to decide where this game will end, whether it will end in Salzburg favor or whether it will end in Chelsea's favor. That are the things people we will have to look towards. Now, discussing my prediction for this Chelsea versus Red Bull Salzburg match, in my humble opinion, people, I see this match ending in a 3-0 victory for Chelsea. I am very, very confident. People will say you are idiotic, we are struggling. You said the same for Dinamo Zagreb match. But people, I'm very confident. I do think we're going to win. The new management bounce is also going to be there. We need to be very, very honest. The new management bounce, the new management push will be there. So the players will be more motivated to play in a better way. And that is why a lot of players will want to prove to Graham Potter that I want to play, sir. I want to be in the lineup. This is why I do think we're going to see a response. And this could be a battering today with injuries Salzburg have got in their squad as well. And also need an opinion on Boli's interview today, sacking all-star and sister clubs in different country. Anshul bhai, I've put the snippets in the end part of the video as well. So as we proceed, Anshul bhai, I'll talk about that as well because I have put some of the clips here. So I will discuss on it as the video processes. And how do you think Chelsea players have been feeling under Potter? For me, Laksh brother, the thing I will say is that right now, everything is very calm and good. That's happened when a manager gets sacked. I remember when Thomas Tuchel was appointed as a Chelsea manager, players were suddenly enjoying playing under Graham Potter. Thomas Tuchel. Suddenly he was training them with tennis balls. So that was exciting. Players were angry at Frank Lampard. Players were not happy with Frank Lampard. Players were enjoying under Thomas Tuchel. The problem at Chelsea Football Club is that the sacking culture we have implemented here, sack after sack after sack after sack, players are always up for it under a new manager. They play well for 6, 7, 8 months. And then this manager does not want to play me. I don't like him. They start going against him. That's where the problem lies for Chelsea. And that is where we have to improve for me. Now, is Todd Bowley really making good promises? And is he going to keep Graham Potter for around 5 or 6 years? Or is it just a joke and Chelsea will always remain Chelsea? That's the thing, people, we have to see in my humble opinion as well. Now, going on to Chelsea talks and starting off with some Chelsea news, people, that have come about. And discussing on Chelsea talks, we had a news about today that came yesterday by Di Marzio, who is one of the most reliable reporter in the world, that Chelsea offered 70 to 80 million in the last days for Rafael Leao. There was no time to do the deal and find a replacement, even though they like Ziyech. Now, people, we have known that AC Milan were big admirers of Hakim Ziyech and they wanted Hakim Ziyech to sign for them. Now, they wanted a loan deal. Chelsea wanted a permanent deal, and that's where all the things broke down. We also know that Chelsea have been heavily trying for Rafael Leao, and that is why they did make some offers. But as you saw, AC Milan have rejected that. For me, with the Rafael Leao, for me, people, I just want to take a bit of chat here. 3-0 could be too generous. I feel like 2-0 or 2-1 for Chelsea. I do agree, Laksh brother. I think that's more to do with me being more positive because I'm a Chelsea fan. That's why I do think we can win 3-0. But I agree with you. This can be a 2-0 or 2-1 as well. Chelsea have been really awful for some time. But sometimes when you sack a manager and you bring a new manager, suddenly there's a push which can be really undeniable and really tough to stop as well. And on Rafael Leao, people, for the people that are subscribed to this channel, people who have watched the previous videos, I've told you a lot of times about Rafael Leao and the package Chelsea have to pay to him. Rafael Leao he broke down a termination contract with Sporting CP. So if Chelsea sign him, they will have to pay that. And along with that, his previous club, Rafael Leao, his first club, has a sell-on clause as well. So if AC Milan sell him, they will have to give 15% amount to that first club. And this is why AC Milan want around 120 to 130 million people. So this deal was impossible. And next year, when Chelsea will be going for Bellingham and Kuku, I think seeing the deal for Rafael Leao can be really, really difficult, people, in my humble opinion as well. Now, going on to the next news today. And this news is about Marc Cucurella, Todd Bowley, and the discussions. And did they really thought to sack Tuchel much earlier? So, during negotiations between Chelsea and Brandon in August, Todd Bowley asked Marc Cucurella and his agents about Graham Potter, and as he was already well informed on his ideas and tactics, now Cucurella and Potter are back together after last great season at Brighton Hove Albion. People, if this is true, that's very, very sad that things were going on behind the manager. This is as per one of the most reliable reporter in Fabrizio Romano, and a reporter that always gets most of the reports correct. And for me, people, this is very, very bad if this has happened. Now, it could be simple discussions, just getting to know about the manager, or this could be really Todd Bowley preparing to sack Thomas Tuchel early. So, whatever has happened, this is bad. This is bad. The manager is managing the club, and I just understand why these talks were going on. Now, I think decision was made early. I think, sadly, Todd Bowley always wanted to get rid of Thomas Tuchel. They did not have a good understanding. The communication was not clear, and he always wanted to sack him, which is very clear to see. And it's so sad that the stories are coming out because I love Thomas Tuchel. I admire Thomas Tuchel, and I love him to bits. And these news are just not right. And working behind him like that for me, sadly, is not right. But it does look like that the planning of Thomas Tuchel sacking was not just a joke. It was going on for a long time. It wasn't just due to results. They already had premeditated decided to sack him, which is sad, but something we should not be surprised of in the modern world, and sackings and the profits and all that stuff as well. Now, discussing about Chelsea's new direction, and Tom Glick, Chelsea's president of business, is expected to build Chelsea's structure. There will be an elevated role for data. Now, people, we all have been hearing on Twitter from the reliable sources that Chelsea signed players on the basis of data. Chelsea scouts told Thomas Tuchel to sign Gordon because of the data, while Thomas Tuchel was not convinced. I think Chelsea is moving on to more like a Liverpool model, where Chelsea work on the data, they sign players as per the data. That's the thing, people, in my opinion, is going on. And Chelsea as a club is slowly but surely changing, and it does look like that's the case. Tom Glick, he has been brought under Todd Bowley, and it does look like that he is going to change the role of the club, and we are going to become a data-oriented club that will sign more players on the basis of their ability, their profile, scouting. So it's an exciting time, people, to be a Chelsea fan as well, that we are changing the nice rate as well. Where do place Chelsea in the Premier League? For me, sir, the prediction will be coming in later as well. But right now, if I have to say, I do see us being in the top four, I think third or fourth. But above that right now is very difficult to see until we see the new manager play a match and we see some of his ideas as well. So on Tom Glick, people, I think it's going to be exciting. And let's see the role he does in the base of data, he does in the basis of transfers and all that stuff as well. Now, going on to the next news, and there's an awareness, however, that Chelsea may need someone to work across all departments. And I don't think, let's see, Mrigank, whatever, for me, I do think we'll enter in the top 5. I think we are better than Manchester United. So I do see us being in the top 5, but will we guarantee be in top 4? I think that's very difficult to say right now. But I do think we will be in the top 5. But in the Premier League, we have seen some bad things happen. So let's see what happens as well. And discussing on this news, there's an awareness, however, that Chelsea may need someone to work across all departments at Cobham, including negotiating transfers and contracts, rather than a data specialist. Michael Emenalo is one who is out of work and available. Now, people, we all know who Emenalo is. Emenalo was a very big figure for Chelsea under the leadership of Roman Abramovich and Marina Granovskaya. We all know, I will say one thing in a very, very honest way, people. We all know that Emenalo was responsible to sign Kevin De Bruyne, Salah, Lukaku. He has got the knowledge, and he is a very, very big figure at Chelsea as well. He's also a figure I really like. He's also a figure I really, really respect. So that's the thing, people, I will love to say. And if this is the news, it's very, very exciting that Chelsea will be bringing on 2 people to lead the club, which most probably could be the Salzburg director, which could also be most probably Luis Campos. And along with them, that could be Michael Emenalo as well, who is out of work. He was previously at AS Monaco, and that's a big, big news coming out of people as well. And Manchester United is good. I think history-wise they are, but currently they're not at the level they must be. So I think that thing we have to understand, that United are not at the level they used to be. So they are more like equal or just below the level of Chelsea. So I cannot see them eclipse Chelsea suddenly in one season. And top 5 is going to be difficult. I do agree because this season is very competitive, but I do see Chelsea comfortably being in the top 5 in my humble opinion. And now, going to the next news, and the next news is regarding Michael Edwards. And Michael Edwards has decided against taking a role at Chelsea. That's a big news, people, that has come out. that he's against taking a role at Chelsea. We've all been known for some time that Michael Edwards is been on sabbatical. Chelsea have tried him to sign in the middle of transfer window. He has rejected Chelsea a lot of times. Todd Boehly, since he has become a Chelsea owner, he has tried to get Michael Edwards. From around, you can say, July, we have been negotiating and trying to get Michael Edwards at the club. But sadly, he has been rejecting us chance after chance after chance. He has been rejecting us, and it does look like he won't join us. For me, this is not like a player thing where you don't want to manage a rival. I don't think there's anything like that. In my humble opinion, I think Michael Edwards is taking a sabbatical, and I do see him not coming to Chelsea. So I think it's better we move away from him now. If he doesn't want to come, what's the benefit of trying for him again and again? So Michael Edwards, people, sadly, it looks like he won't be coming to Chelsea, and he's against taking a role at Chelsea Football Club. Now, discussing on the next news, and this is regarding the opponent we'll be playing today in Red Bull Salzburg. Christopher Freund is on Chelsea's list for sporting director. Sources in Austria believe a big offer from Chelsea could prove to be too tempting. Freund turned down possibility of Ajax in the past. The possibility of a sporting director and a technical director has been very well floated as well. So people, this is also exciting news, because he had a big hand in signing players like Erling Haaland, players like Benjamin Sesko. So he is a very exciting sporting director. And the targets Chelsea have been linked with: Luis Campos, Michael Edwards, Christopher Freund, Mitchell. I think people, Chelsea are trying to move in a very good direction. And this guy was responsible to sign Haaland. This boy was responsible to sign Benjamin Sesko. So we have to put the respect in him. And Red Bull Salzburg are one of the best young team in the world in developing players, making players, selling them for big profits. So he can be a very good person who can scout some very big players for us as well. And this is by the reliable source in Matt Law, who is always mostly on point with Chelsea news. So people, Red Bull Salzburg director might just be coming to Chelsea, and today's match might be a chance for us to negotiate with him to join us for a director of sporting role for the football club as well. Now, discussing about my favorite, the person I want to come at Chelsea, Luis Campos, a person who is known, a person who was also admired by Roman Abramovich, but because his setup was very expensive, Chelsea turned down the possibility to sign him. So, Chelsea eyed Luis Campos as a next sporting director, and is understood Todd Boehly has already spoken to him. Campos has been working as an advisor for PSG. People, we've already seen the good work PSG have done in this window with the help of this guy. This is one of the most talented, intelligent guy in footballing world. He might not be young, he might not be 20-25, but he's one of the most intelligent brain in the footballing world in signing players, and a person that can take Chelsea to the next level as well. Taking some chats, what are your thoughts about Arsenal being not currently and Los Alcaraz being? I don't know about that, so I'm very sorry about that. I've not understood. And Arsenal match for this week has also been postponed against PSV. So if Arsenal fans are watching, I think they know they've only got one match this week against Brentford. So on Luis Campos, people, I think this could be a massive deal. And there's another news, and that is Chelsea have offered Luis Campos 8 million a year to join the club immediately from Paris Saint-Germain and take the charge of the next two transfer windows. People, this is a massive news, and it does show the ambition of Todd Boehly to be changing the club for better as well. You can see here is by Les Parisiens, who are very reliable about the way they are doing as well. So in my humble opinion, I think we have to see they are very good as well. What are your thoughts on Arsenal being first? For me, Brigand brother, I don't see them staying at that for long. So I do think they'll come back from that position as well. On Alcaraz winning, I did not watch that, so I don't know about that. I'm being very honest. But wish him the best, and that's good that he won as well. But I do not watch that sports, so that's why I don't know about that. So apologies for that. And for me, people, Luis Campos can be a massive deal for us, and a really good director that can be very beneficial for Chelsea in the future as well. Going on to the next news, and Anshul bhai, if you're watching, this is the news I wanted to talk to you about. Todd Boehly, we have got the best women's team in the world. We've got one of the best academies in the world. Our academy is Mohamed Salah, De Bruyne, Tammy Abraham, Reece James, Mason Mount, Chalobah. This is what he said to the Seoul conference. So people, now many have been ridiculing him that, oh, Salah is not from the Chelsea academy. Kevin De Bruyne is not from Chelsea academy. Yes, They're not from the academy, but they were developed by the academy. They were signed by the scouting team. They were not the manager signing. They were signed by the scouting team, and this is why he has called them in the academy part. And this only shows the talented academy Chelsea have, and it does show that Todd Boehly is going to change the way Chelsea go, and we just might be like a Liverpool or Manchester City, but we are going in a more of a direction Liverpool. Now Manchester City, they buy players whoever they want, but Liverpool work in a more micromanaged way, selling players, scouting players. Liverpool work in a more micromanaged way, and I think in the future, once Todd Boehly has spent a lot of money, in the future he will make us more like Liverpool, spending only when required, developing young players, having a good scouting network. So that's the way I do see Todd Boehly developing the club, and that's the way for me people will be going about as well. So it's exciting news, and it does show the good direction that the club is going in as well. Now, this is a question that Todd Boehly was asked on the sacking. Tuchel is extremely talented and had great success. Our vision for the club was finding a manager that wanted to collaborate with us. We weren't sure Thomas saw our vision the same way we saw it. We didn't have a shared vision. People, this is damning. This is the reason he has been sacked. We have been known for some time. Journalists have been reporting it as well, that the understanding between Tuchel and the ownership was not at a good level. Everybody has been telling us for some time as well. And people, it should not also come as a surprise. So this is clear by the statement that Todd Boehly sacked Thomas Tuchel because they were not on the same path and they were not on the same vision. For me, the way they have been, they've got on Marina, Bruce Burke, the way they've got Scott McLagan out, it does look like that the new ownership is going in a new direction and they're managing club in a new direction as well. This is why for me, they always wanted to sack Tuchel, but the way Tuchel was loved by Chelsea fans, by me and all of us, they could not sack him. They were waiting for bad results to happen and then they sacked him. Now, I'm not fully angry at the owner because I do want to back the next manager. I do want to back the new coaching staff, and I will always love Chelsea. No manager, no owner, no player can come over a club. So that's why we have to forget it. But if it doesn't work, then Todd Boehly will look like an absolute joke. But if it does work, he will look like an absolute genius. And 100% agree with your thoughts on Boehly sacking Tuchel. Absolute Lux, brother. For me, that's a very, very wrong sacking. A sacking which should not have been done. But again, I'll back the ownership. Again, I'll back their decision. Because for me, a club is over any manager, a club is over any player, and a club is over anything that happens with any person. So I'll always put Chelsea as an entity over anything else. But also, I can understand reasons that they were not on the same path. But I will only say one thing. If the decision backfires, Tuchel goes to a great club, wins some massive trophies, we'll look like big idiots. So we have to hope that Graham Potter becomes a great success for Chelsea as well. And with this statement, people, it's very, very clear that Chelsea sacked Thomas Tuchel because he was not on the same part as Todd Boehly. I will also like to see an interview from Thomas Tuchel because you cannot just decide on one side. But at the moment, it does look like that he was sacked because he was not on the same vision, on the path, as owner Todd Boehly. Now, going on to the next news, that's about our current manager and what he has said. The challenge was too big to turn down. I'll always be respectful to Brighton, but the club is amazing, amazing football club and an amazing challenge. On risk attached to Chelsea, Potter says there's a risk if you walk across the road. Life is full of risk. People, remember this words. Life is full of risk. Great words by the new manager, by the new gaffer, and Graham Potter was spot on. Great statement. Yes, many people have been going on. He does not have the aura. He's not the attitude. He's not a Thomas Tuchel level. His aura is not good. Get away. Grow up. He's a new manager. I'm also angry. I love Thomas Tuchel to bits. He was my favorite Chelsea manager. I love Thomas Tuchel to bits. But people, move on. Club is bigger than any manager, any player. Chelsea can employ anyone. Chelsea can be in the championship. Chelsea can be in the League One. I'll still support this club. Whether it's about waking at 6 o'clock and going at work at 9 o'clock, I will support this club. Till death, I will support this club to absolute bits. So it's important to support the new gaffer. He's a new gaffer. He's a part of a family. Back him. You can be angry at Thomas Tuchel, but you should also be backing the new gaffer. And the statement by the new gaffer is absolutely spot on. The life is full of risk. If you're even walking on a road, that is a risk. For me, this is a good statement, and it does show he's up for the challenge and can do a fantastic job for Chelsea. And for people doubting a new manager, Pep was new to Barcelona and he worked. Even Zidane was new to the management. He worked. Yes, he had a playing career to build on. So we have to take that. But people, Sir Alex Ferguson was not the biggest player in the world, but he did become one of the best managers. I'm not comparing Potter to Ferguson, but people, please do not think a manager at the bottom club, when it comes to bigger, he cannot manage them. It's about management. This guy took Austrians from 4th division to a Europa League campaign where they defeated Arsenal at the Emirates. You heard? He took Austrians from 4th division and he brought them to Europa League and they beat our rivals Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. Put some respect on this guy. Then he came to Brighton. He made Denny Welbeck look like better striker than what we have got. Put some damn respect on him. He can do a good job. Aura is not the most important thing. It's about the manager. It's about the work. Back the new gaffer. Work with him. Respect him. And back the gaffer people we have got. He's an exciting gaffer. And he can do a fantastic job for Chelsea if we back him in the right way as well. Now, talking about we need Leao for the left, Sterling is for the right, and Nkunku for the center. And they can all Chelsea have already kept for the next 2 windows. For me, sir, and Anshul bhai, I will say one thing in a very humble opinion. For me, as much I know, there was 1.7 billion investment that Todd Bowley has promised to Roman Abramovich to make that. But that also includes stadium reconstruction. So Anshul bhai, we have to also remember that Chelsea will be making a new stadium or expanding this stadium. So that's the money we have to be worried about. For me, Anshul bhai, at the moment, we have to also be careful of FFP as well. We cannot be spending in this enormous amount. Anshul bhai, FFP is about 3-year cycle where you can spend the money in a particular amount and the losses cannot exceed a particular limit. Chelsea have to make profit to spend more. We have to sell players to work more. I cannot see Leon and Kuku come in the same window if you do not sell the like of Pulisic, if you do not let Jorginho go, if you do not let Kante go. Chelsea will have to sell to spend this 260 million Anshul bhai. This is why, for me, spending is not going to be in an enormous amount. For me, Anshul bhai, Todd Bowley is going to spend in next 2 years and then he's going to calm down and not spend much money. That's the way I think he's going to go in my humble opinion. Let J5 go, get 1 DM and 1 real creative center attacking midfielder along with Leao and Nkunku with the right wing backup and we will compete. I think that's a very good point, Anshul bhai, that we will compete as a team. But again, Anshul bhai, I will say one thing. J5 will be going for free because his contract is only left till a year now. And Kante will go for free. Who are the sellable players in the Chelsea team? Please, people in the comment section, let me know which player in the Chelsea team are really sellable right now for a massive price, who are not important to this team. And there are rare players, to be honest. Hudson-Odoi is not fetching big money in the market. We are sad. Hakim Ziyech is not getting big money in the market. Pulisic is max to max a 40 million player right now. We do not have massive players, Bahar James, Bar Mount, who can fetch us big money in the market. So that is the thing, people, we need to be worried about as well. You're right. We need to let go of J5, Pulisic, Ziyech. We can maintain FFP. I agree with you in this one, Anshul bhai. But the thing is, with a new manager coming in, things might change. He might love Ziyech. He might love J5. So I think we have to see what Graham Potter wants. And I think that is the way Todd Bowley is going to go. But with Luis Campos coming, the new director coming, I think Chelsea can go in a very good direction. Or we can even go in a very budget direction. Let's see where we go, in my humble opinion. And now, talking about, and Fabrizio Romano reported this today, many of the Salzburg stars have joined the club thanks to Freund, including Sesko, Haaland. He's great at identifying talents and has a vision for the future. This is why he's one of the most attractive candidates for Chelsea. People, he's a fantastic scout. You have seen the work he has done at Red Bull Salzburg. The players Salzburg has signed, people do put some respect on him. And it does show Chelsea are working for the future as well. You can see him getting players like Haaland, getting players like Sesko. So people, this could be a very positive sign for the club to proceed ahead as well. So that is a good sign for me, people, in my humble opinion. Now, I'm hearing positive things. The impact in training between Graham Potter and Chelsea players has been described as very good. This is by the very reliable Fabrizio Romano. Now, people, we have to understand that these players have been doing this thing for a very long time. They were doing this under Thomas Tuchel. They did this under Jose Mourinho. They did it under even Antonio Conte. Whenever a new manager comes at Chelsea, the news is out. Players are so happy with the new manager. Players are enjoying the training. Suddenly everything feels so stress-free. And then in 1 year, we sack the manager. So it's time we change that culture. But till now, the signs are positive and players are loving Graham Potter. So that is good to hear as well. Now, this is the big news and Chulbai was talking about. Chelsea have held talks over buying a club in Portugal as well. So people, this is the massive news that's coming out today that Chelsea have held talks to buy a club in Portugal. We saw Todd Boehly mention this in an interview as well, that Chelsea will be going on a project of working like a sister club where Chelsea can send their players for loan, Chelsea can get their players developed on loan. And people, this is a very, very exciting news for the Chelsea future as well. Todd Boehly mentioned it in his interview that is working in that way as well. And people, that is very, very exciting the way Todd Boehly is managing this club. Todd Boehly, his interview made it very, very clear that he will be buying a club along with Chelsea and working in a multi-club model. And it does look like it might come to fruition. And Todd Boehly might just be buying a club where he can loan Chelsea's players. He can sign players that he met Jorge Mendes a lot of times, whether it was to sign Ronaldo, whether it was to sign Matheus Nunes, or whether it was a talk about building a Chelsea base in Portugal. This is a very, very exciting news. And Jamal Musiala was an ex-Chelsea academy player. That's one of the things I've always heard from the critics, and that's a thing that hurts me till now as well. People, now again going on a recap for this video for people who have joined right now. I'll recap the whole video in a very quick way, and then we'll end the video. So people watching, do hit the like button, do hit the subscribe button, and support the channel. So I'm recapping the video. We previewed the match against Salzburg. We also talked about a lot of news and a lot of great stuff as well. So first today we discuss about the results of both the sides. And Chelsea lost to Dinamo Zagreb 1-0 in the first game week, while the opponents Red Bull Salzburg got a very good draw against AC Milan at home. Along with that, if you look at that, the two most dangerous players for Red Bull Salzburg are Okafor and Benjamin Sesko. Okafor in 11 games scored 6 goals, and Benjamin Sesko in all competitions in 11 games has scored 4 goals. These are going to be the most threatening players Chelsea are going to play today. And people, we need to be very careful of Okafor and Sesko because these two can be very, very threatening for us today. And Thiago Silva, Fofana and Koulibaly need to be on top of their game. Now, discussing about Red Bull Salzburg and the injury crisis, and they have got a massive, massive list of injuries. Maximiliano Wöber is out, Omar Solid is out, Blatkowski is out, Brian Oko is out. They've also got Diambu out, Osman Dikate is out, Dinaji is out, Suchik is out, Umaroji is out, and Koita is out. Along with that, for Chelsea, N'Golo Kante remains out for the game. We all know N'Golo Kante has had a serious injury, and expecting N'Golo Kante anytime soon back is going to be difficult, people. So N'Golo Kante sadly will be out for this game as well. And Edward Mendy is also going to be out for this game. So Kepa Arrizabalaga is going to be the first team goalkeeper for Chelsea today. Along with that, we've also got a new manager playing in his first game, Graham Potter. And people, with the new management, it's very difficult to see what the team might play. Will they play Pulisic? Will they try Ziyech? Will they pull a surprise? Like when Thomas Tuchel came in, he pulled a surprise straight away. So that's the thing, people, we need to be careful about. And I think we need to understand. New management might love different players. So that's the thing, is very difficult to predict right now as well. So, in my humble opinion, the likely Chelsea 11 is going to be Koulibaly, Silva, Fofana, and then Kepa Arrizabalaga as a goalkeeper in the back three. And then it's going to be Ben Chilwell playing today. I cannot see Cucurella play. Chelsea have had enough rest after the last game. And this is why Chilwell is a much better option than Cucurella. And then James is going to be at the right. Jorginho, Kovacic are going to be in the middle. And then it's going to be Sterling, Havertz, Aubameyang. Now, why will Kai Havertz play? Kai Havertz was one of the brightest sparks for Chelsea in the Dinamo game. Mount was poor. Pulisic was poor. Ziyech was awful. And Havertz was a better attacking Chelsea player for us against Dinamo. So, it's going to be Havertz, it's going to be Sterling, and it's going to be Aubameyang playing as a front three. And then Chilwell, James on the full back. Jorginho, Kova in the midfield. And then it's going to be Koulibaly, Silva, Fofana in the back three as well. Club Brugge from me have been fantastic. So big up to them. And they're doing a great job. Kepa is a great keeper, good at his feet. As well, this might be revival season. On Kepa Arrizabalaga, he's a very, very good player on his feet. But he's a very, very bad shot stopper sometimes. Especially from long range shot. And that's still a concern that lives with Kepa and some doubts that I have regarding him. But now, going on likely Salzburg 11, and for me, they are going to go with Korn, Pavlovic, Bernardo, and they're going to be Dedic at the right, Ulmer at the left, Salvat, Capitolo, and it's going to be Kajai then Kamiri, and then Okafor and Sesko. The two biggest threats Salzburg have got. They can threaten Chelsea and really trouble us in this match as well, people. And in my opinion, on this match, my prediction, I think Graham Potter is going to start his Chelsea reign with a massive victory. I see Chelsea winning this game 3-0, and we are going to be impressive. New manager bounce, and I do see us win this game 3-0 in my humble opinion, people. Now, going on to Chelsea talks, and starting off with the first news we received, and that was about Chelsea had offered 70 to 80 million in the last days for Rafael. There was no time to do the deal, and there was a slight interest in Hakim Ziyech, but the replacements are not possible. Now, we all know that Hakim Ziyech was very much admired by AC Milan, but due to some reasons, Chelsea asking too much, the deal was off. We also know that Rafael has a lot of contract left. He had terminated his contract with Sporting a long ago, so a team buying him must pay that. And also he has a sell on clause, so that the sale team has to also pay, because the buying club will ask for a lot of money. So Leao is going to cost 120 to 130 million, and are Chelsea ready to pay that is a question that remains, especially when Chelsea will be after Nkunku, Bellingham, Rice. Getting so many players might just not be possible, people. Now, this is the news just come in latest that Thomas Tuchel might have been sacked even before than we can think of. During negotiations for Cucurella, Todd Boehly had discussed with him about getting Graham Potter and how is Graham Potter as a manager, what he does, and people, this is backstabbing Thomas Tuchel at his best. For me, I want to forget it. What's gone, that's gone. I'm going to back the new guy for. But this is bad. This is very disappointing, and this is not the right thing to do by the new ownership. And sadly, people, that's the case. And it does look like there's something was going on behind the scenes. And it does look like the sacking was not immediate. It was thought about for a long, long time. And he was sacked for a reason. Now, going on to the next part, and the news that come out is Chelsea are slowly moving on to a data-driven team as well. Taking a bit of questions here. Manchester City are going all out for Rafael in January. If you can't buy in Jan, definitely next summer. And Rafael, people, is going to be big demand as well. City are also preparing a bid for Leo in January. Let's see what happens. But for me, at the moment, Chelsea have more concerns to be worried about than signing an attacker who is going to cost 100 to 120 million. Tom Glick is a Chelsea's president of business, and Chelsea have been working a lot on data as well. People, we've also got reports that Anthony Gordon was not a Tuchel signing. He was being approached by the Chelsea data team, and this is where difference of opinion was there as well. So that's also massive news that I think nobody saw coming as well. Discussing on Emenalo back at Chelsea, we all know that Emenalo was responsible to sign Kevin De Bruyne, Salah, Lukaku, and that's a big part of that. And Emenalo right now is out of job because he left Monaco. So people, Emenalo is also available. We also know that Chelsea are not just going for one director of football, they are going for two director of footballs. And Emenalo and another person is very possible to happen this window as well. He did a good work at Chelsea, and I won't mind to see Michael Emenalo back at the bridge. Now, Michael Edwards is the most talk of the town. He did a fantastic job at Liverpool, selling Coutinho for 140 million, Jordan Ibe for 20 million, signing players, winning Liverpool trophies. But sadly, at the moment for me, it did look like that he was taking a sabbatical from football. But now, it does look like he's decided to take a role at Chelsea. And it looks like the Michael Edwards deal is off. This is by reliable Matt Law. And it does look like the Michael Edwards deal to Chelsea Football Club is off, people. And we are going to different targets as well. Now, Christopher Freund is on Chelsea's list for sporting director. We all know he's the sporting director for Red Bull Salzburg, who has been responsible to sign Benjamin Sesko, Erling Haaland, and he's a very good director of football. So he's a person Chelsea are heavily after, and he's a person that Chelsea have been trying to get for some time as well. Along with that, going on Luis Campos, and he's another person Chelsea are after, and the reports by reliable Duncan Castles are coming up that Chelsea and Todd Boehly have already had a chat with him, and right now he's working as an advisor for PSG, and you can already see the effect he's having on PSG. Also, Chelsea have offered him 8 million a year to join the club immediately from Paris Saint-Germain and take charge of the next two transfer windows. This is by Le Parisien. Along with that, we had a news by Todd Bowley where he said that we have got the best women team in the world. We have got one of the best academy in the world. Our academy is Mo Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Tammy Abraham, Reece James, Mount and Chalobah. It does show that Chelsea might be moving in a direction of building from the youth, and it does look like Chelsea are going in a different direction under Bowley, and we might just be building for a very, very long term as well, people. So exciting times or a bit less ambitious times. Let's see. But right now, I'm very, very excited for what the future holds under the new ownership. Now, on Thomas Tuchel sacking and why he was sacked, this is what Todd Bowley had to say. He said Tuchel is a very talented manager. Our vision, sadly, for the club was not the same, and I wasn't sure that Thomas Tuchel saw our vision the same way, and this is why he was sacked. For me, I want to hear the other side as well. I'm not just going to believe the person who sacked him, but right now, because I have only one statement, I have to believe that, and it does look like the Todd Bowley and Thomas Tuchel fall out, and that's why he was sacked, which is also not a surprise for me, people. And now, going on to the next bit of news, this is by our new manager. He said that Chelsea was a challenge too big to turn down. He always is respectful to Brighton, but this club is an amazing football club and an amazing challenge. And risk attached, he said a very good word that life is full of risk, and even if you walk across the road, that's also a risk. So massive, massive statement by the new manager, and he has all my backings. Fabrizio Romano said this, that many of Salzburg stars have joined the club thanks to Freund, including Sesko, Haaland. He's great at identifying talents and has a vision for the future. This is why he's one of the most attractive candidates for Chelsea. So that's also very, very good news for us people as well. And now I'm hearing positive things between Potter and Chelsea. And right now, players are enjoying the training and the impact right now is very good. Now, people, I'm not above my seat. I'm not enjoying this because it always happens that a manager is sacked, players happy, and then everything in 1 year turns down. But hopefully, Todd Bowley has given them an earring, and hopefully, Chelsea now go on a long term because I am done with this sacking culture. Happiness, training, trophies, sack. We are a team that sleeps, that wins trophies, sack managers sleep, and I want this cycle to get over, people. Now, going on to the biggest news that's come out today, and this is that Chelsea have held talks over buying a club in Portugal. Yesterday, the Chelsea owners said it very, very clearly in a very humble way that we are working on a multi-club project, and we also want a sister club where we can buy players, we can send players on loan, we can buy good scouting talent. We all know how much Todd Bowley has met Jorge Mendes, and this is not out of possibility, and this is very, very possible, people. On that note, people, I've discussed a lot today, Chelsea talks, Salzburg review, and a lot more things. So people watching, do hit the like button, subscribe button, please support the channel. And people watching, if you've just joined now, do watch it back. We discuss about Chelsea Salzburg, we discuss about Chelsea talks, and for me, Chelsea are going in a good direction, and I'm backing the new gaffer all the way. So people who have watched, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, great time. I'll take a bit of questions here. And City are also looking to sign Toni Kroos in January, which may indicate Bellingham most likely destination might be Real. I think for me, let's see. But I do see Bellingham going to Real. I think that's been clear for a long time as well. And on that note, people, I end the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a great, great day. People watching, do go back if you've not watched the whole video. I've discussed a lot of things in detail. And please subscribe and please support the channel. Thank you all. Hope you have a great